Welcome to Q&A, a production of AGORACOM in which shareholders are able to have their questions answered directly by management. With us today, I'm happy to have again Don Bubar. He's President and CEO of Avalon Rare Metals. The company trades on the stock symbol AVL on both the Toronto Stock Exchange and the New York Stock Exchange. Now, for those of you who are new to the story, Avalon is a mineral development company with a primary focus, as you can guess from its name, on the rare metals and minerals. But more than just lip service, Avalon is in the process of developing 3 of its 6 mineral resource properties. Nechalacho is the company's flagship project, as it's recognized as the most advanced, large, heavy rare earth project in the entire world outside of China. The East Kemptville Tin-Indium Project, as well as the Separation Rapids Lithium Minerals Project, are also advancing due to increased global demand for both tin and lithium, respectively. Finally, in addition to good, healthy corporate development, Avalon regards health and safety, social responsibility, and leadership in environmental stewardship as corporate cornerstones. Don, welcome to the show.
Good to be back, George.
Well, we've got some great questions for you. Really appreciate that you're taking the time to answer shareholder questions, so I'm going to jump right into them and give them to you.
Go ahead.
First one. Don, can you please give us a summary of the business opportunities for the company in the coming 3 to 5 years?
Well, we've got opportunities to bring any one of at least 3 of our advanced rare metals projects through feasibility to production. They all offer opportunities to serve the market with its rare metals needs, and each one offers a different rare metal or group of rare metals to that marketplace. Of course, we're well known for our Nechalacho Rare Earths project, which also offers zirconium, tantalum, niobium possibilities to bring to that marketplace, all in increasing demand in new technology, as all of our shareholders would well know. Then we've got our Tin-Indium project down in Nova Scotia, where we're seeing exciting new opportunities to serve a growing market for tin and indium in electronics, as many of our shareholders also are well aware. And then our old lithium minerals project up in Separation Rapids in northwestern Ontario, that was our initial foray into the world of rare metals some 15 years ago, is seeing a resurgence of interest now too, as lithium becomes a really important commodity in a whole host of new technologies. So our original thesis on getting involved in the rare metals business 15 years ago is unfolding now as we thought it would. New technology is finding more and more ways to exploit the unique properties of rare metals and minerals, and Avalon is extremely well positioned to serve those needs by being an early mover in the space.
Don, personally, I got to tell you, every time I see a new product, new technology being announced for the consumer marketplace or for the business marketplace, one of the first things I think about is how is Avalon going to be able to participate in that? So yeah, you're right on about your focus on rare metals and where the world is going. Second question: do you believe Avalon is doing the right things to achieve the business goals and maximize their shareholder value?
Yeah, we really do. We think we're kind of underappreciated right now for having done a lot of things right, just because that's the kind of market environment we're in right now. It's a bit indifferent to minerals and resources generally, but we kind of foresaw that there would be a downturn. We've positioned ourselves well to survive it. We built a management team that has all the skills and expertise needed to take one of these projects forward through feasibility to production. And we've built sustainability and environmental and social responsibility into the culture of the company. And as we develop those markets for rare metals and minerals in new technology, which many of it is related to renewable energy and clean technology, development in a responsible way, both environmentally and socially, is increasingly a key part of any company's business development plans going forward. And so by doing all of those things and keeping sufficient funding in the Treasury to allow us to keep moving our projects forward, but managing it carefully in these challenging times, has positioned us well to succeed over the next few years.
Our next question it kind of addresses your comment earlier where you talked about good old Separation Rapids, which is Lithium is in the news these days thanks to Tesla and Elon Musk. Can Avalon participate in this exciting new market?
Yeah, we think we can, actually. It's really a realization that has only come to us over the last 6-8 months or so as more and more headlines come out about the demand for lithium in rechargeable batteries. And one of the trends that we've observed is there's a need for ever higher purities of the raw material inputs going into lithium-ion battery technology. And producing very high purity chemicals is a challenge, and the higher the purity of the input raw material, the easier it is generally to make an ultra-high purity chemical product. So we think we're really well positioned with our lithium resource at Separation Rapids to serve that growing need in this sector, because it's a lithium minerals deposit that already got purified by Mother Nature. The lithium mineral in there, called petalite, is valued because it has no impurities in it to begin with. So this is what made it of interest to consumers in the glass and ceramic sector early on, and it's still of potential value there going forward. We're seeing increasing interest there, but now we're starting to realize that that same property may make it a good feedstock from which to produce a high purity chemical, lithium chemical, for the emerging market in lithium-ion batteries and energy storage generally.
And side note again, your answer to that question just keeps on supporting the fact that you personally and Avalon as a company just has this uncanny ability to be able to pick up projects years in advance, ahead of the game. Separation Rapids being one of them, and look how lithium now is fast becoming one of the most talked about minerals in the world. And the same thing you did with East Kemptville Tin, and we'll talk about that later. But just, again, amazing that you have the uncanny ability to foresee the future and pick up these projects, and demand just comes flying into them whether you like it or not.
Well, maybe we were a bit early with Separation Rapids and our lithium plans, but we've been patient, and our patience is being rewarded now with newer market opportunities there.
Going back to the East Kemptville Tin-Indium Project, do you believe that you could become a producer of tin and indium?
Yes, we can. The time frame remains to be determined. It certainly couldn't be done immediately. There's a fair bit of work to be done to meet the requirements under the current environmental assessment rules in Canada, and get the required permits, as well as complete a formal feasibility study. But given that it's a brownfield site, we think that it's possible that we could get this deposit back in production again in 3 to 4 years if we were able to move things forward without any unexpected delays on permitting, for example.
And this is my side question there. You want that because tin, from what you've been telling us, and I didn't know it until Avalon came along and started educating me, tin is actually in increasing demand.
Yes, it is. It's a pretty important metal in modern electronics. There's a little bit of tin on every circuit board where they use it in solders to replace lead because of lead toxicity, and all those circuits in a circuit board need to be connected by solders. And tin is the metal that enables that now. So its demand is tied to the consumer electronics industry. It's likely to for a while. That being said, they're getting more efficient in terms of how much tin they may use on an individual product. So the demand may not be tied directly to the growth in demand in consumer electronic products, but it's certainly going to be a steady growing market. And there's lots of other potential applications out there for tin looming on the horizon. We see it as a specialty metal as well, just like lithium and the rare earths.
Don, no Q&A would be complete without the following question for sure from shareholders. So here it is. Don, can you give us a status update on the Nechalacho project?
Sure, we've been working away steadily on Nechalacho. While we haven't had any activity in the field up at the project site at Thor Lake in the Northwest Territories, we've been doing a lot of work on market development and on the process technology to try to find a more efficient processing solution that will allow us to reduce costs and improve the quality of the rare earth products that we plan to produce at the end of the day. And we're seeing lots of opportunity to do that. We've already come up with a new process flow sheet that gets us partway there, and we think there's further opportunities to enhance that. So that continues to be a priority for us, as it is with all of our projects in the rare metals business. Often it's not about just finding the ore body and drilling holes in it and then mining it. It's all about how you're going to extract those metals and purify them and refine them into a form that's actually usable in these high-tech and clean-tech sectors. And we think there's more work to be done on the rare earth side to come up with less expensive, innovative solutions there. And led by Dave Marsh, we've got a great team to find those solutions. So we're continuing to work on that with the likelihood of doing another pilot plant down the road, for which we already have a bulk sample in hand to do that with when we're ready. And then, of course, we're continuing to move along with the permitting process so that when the market interest in rare earths recovers, we're ready to hit the start button again and move that project forward.
Right, so let's talk about that. The next question is, what events do you foresee affecting rare earth prices in the short term, which I guess would also be addressing demand for rare earths? What kind of events do you foresee?
Well, it's all about China still. China still is the dominant producer of rare earths. They control that market, and it's Chinese policy around the availability of rare earths for export that is the primary influence on availability of product and the pricing for it going forward. China is now actively trying to consolidate the rare earths business inside China. They have imposed new export licensing rules that look like they will potentially further restrict access to material and certainly be less certainty for end users around the world outside China, that they'll be able to get the rare earths when they need them in the quantities they need them. So we think that there's likely going to be another cycle of demand and concern about reliability of supply that's going to fuel higher prices. I don't know when that's going to be, but I know we're well positioned to move forward whenever that happens, and we've got our project in a pretty good position, so we can sit back and wait for events to unfold there. But in the meantime, we are maintaining our relationships in the marketplace with potential customers and our refining partner, Solvay. So we're ready to serve our customers and work with them whenever the market wants us to.
Now, this is my question, just kind of interjecting before we move on to the next one, but is it, and this is more banter, I guess, but is it safe to assume that given the fact that the Chinese do control the rarest markets for now, that at some point they're going to want to artificially get prices moving higher again, and they'll do that by restricting quotas, restricting exports, doing whatever it takes just to make their own projects more valuable?
Well, I think one of the effects of consolidation there and one of their objectives is to clean up the industry, make it more efficient, improve environmental practice so there's less damage to the environment, as has received a lot of publicity. So that inevitably results in higher costs, and higher costs means reduced margins unless prices go up. So I think that in itself will ultimately drive prices higher.
All right. Last question. And this is more of an aside. This came in at the end from an investor. I'm paraphrasing the question, but they are asking about dilution. And can you explain to him why dilution takes place and why it's important for companies to be doing so when necessary?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. Sometimes companies will do fairly large equity financings at depressed prices, and it does dilute the existing shareholders, and it may cap the upside a little bit for the shareholders. It doesn't affect value in the short term, but it may impact the long-term upside for the individual shareholders. So it's all about kind of managing dilution, and when your stock price is trading at lows, your market valuation is low, is just raising what you absolutely need and not overly diluting the shareholders at current valuations. And we think we've done a pretty good job on that, actually. We're raising incrementally money as we need it so we can keep our programs moving forward. That allows us to maintain investor interest and keep moving towards the goals that we see will ultimately create additional shareholder value.
And I can probably throw in just my own little anecdotal answer there too for the investors, given the fact that we cover so many other companies outside of Avalon. That you're one of the best. Avalon's one of the best at controlling costs, making sure they're doing only what's necessary in terms of raising additional money and minimizing dilution. So you can't ask for a better scenario.
Good.
Don, that wraps up all the questions. I think I speak on behalf of everyone when I say thank you so much. You're at your office. You're a busy guy. You've got a lot on the run. We know that. And when you take the time to allow investors to post their questions online, and then you take the time to answer them directly right here, it's not scripted. We're throwing the questions at you and you're answering them. It's deeply appreciated. And we look forward to many more of these as you continue to really increase your communication with your shareholders.
They were good questions, and I'm delighted to be able to answer them for the AGORACOM audience, and we'll look forward to doing it again in the near future.
And finally, I want to thank all shareholders for taking the time themselves to post the questions, and look forward to posting more in future episodes. You've been watching Don Bubar. He's President and CEO of Avalon Rare Metals. The company trades under the stock symbol AVL on both the Toronto Stock Exchange and the New York Stock Exchange. Online, you can find them at avalonraremetals.com, and you can always go to AGORACOM, punch in the company's name or symbol, post questions, get answers, and have good, healthy, constructive conversation with fellow shareholders from around the world. Until next time, thanks for joining us. Have a great day.